So, today we have my review, or rather comparison, of the Swytch bike e-bike conversion kit. That's the Swytch bike battery, that is the Swytch bike remote control, that is the Swytch bike controller / display, versus the Yose Power e-bike conversion kit. Yose Power battery, Yose Power wires, Yose Power motor, which is on the rear, that's easier to compare, and the Yose Power display. I'm going to cut in and out a few clips of me out riding it on various uphill terrains, etc. But let me give you my comparison, or rather my take on the whole Yose Power Swytch bike versus things. So the first one that will come is ease of fitment. Now, obviously, a rear hub mounted motor back wheel is more difficult to fit than a front hub wheel mounted motor, because that one you literally just swap the tyres onto other wheels and put the wheel back on. That's basically all you have to do for a front, is swap the wheels in and out. The rear, a little more complicated, where you have to swap the cassette over onto the other hub, but Yose Power do make a front set as well. So if we just assume that swapping the wheels were the same, then we'll compare swapping doing the rest of the installation. So for the Swytch kit, you get your battery and a battery bracket that goes on the handlebars. They also sell another bracket add-on that puts the battery under here, and I do have it, I've just never fitted it because it arrived months after the kit arrived. So that moves the battery from the front to the back, and it better balances the weight out, because it's very heavy up the front with the heavy battery and the heavy motor, so moving that to the back would be better. But easy to fit, it's just clamps and screws. You don't have to take it apart, it just clamps on here, your battery fits in there, and I'd say if doing the wheels was the same, then the wheels will be the same amount of effort. Screw your display controller on, and everything just plugs together with these sort of plugs. They're all the same, both sets, both kits have used the same connectors. I imagine these are a brand name connector. Well, it's got a name on it. Jouet, J-U-E-T, J-U-E-T. They're all branded like that. They've got various pins and whatnot. These are 3s, and there's like ones with 5s, and there's bigger ones. They're all down here, all various shapes and sizes, and connections to the motor, etc. So that's the Swytch kit. For the Yose Power one, obviously, this didn't quite fit my frame, but you would take where your water bottle holder is, there's 2 bolt holes, and you bolt the battery base onto your bottle holder bolt holes, and then that lets you slip this whole battery in and out. There is a lock on the other side. There's a keyhole. That locks the battery in place so it doesn't fall off and you can't take it off. But that will let you remove the battery in and out of its place. The Swytch kit is even easier than that. It's just got a little flap hinge at the top, dropped everything here, and that lets you take the whole battery out of the bike. So the Swytch kind of wins for that one. It's definitely got ease of fitment. There's still the pedal sensor to go. So the Swytch kit, everything basically mounts from the outside. You don't have to take anything apart. So this part here, when it's working, there's a red LED that flashes. That's the sensor that reads these magnets, as the crank spins. I know I'm going backwards, but as the crank spins, it reads you pedaling, and that activates the motor and tells everything to work. This whole setup is fitted from the outside. This disc here is in 2 halves. It clicks over the hub, or the crank, over the crank. It's got a little arm in the back there that you can cable tie to fully secure it. And the sensor here, in my case, it's just double-sided taped and cable tied. That's that. You don't have to take anything apart. Now the Yose Power kit, we'll be able to get my phone in to see it, is... let me move this out of the way. Can you see? Focus. Focus. Can you focus? Is it too dark to focus? Anyway, there's this sensor here. This is what fits on the Yose Power kit. But you have to take off the the arm, obviously the arm comes off the crank as a one that comes all off, and you put the sensor on and you put everything back on. So it's a bit more involved in the fitment, but it's also a lot tidier because that sensor, once it's in there, it's in there protected from everything. It's basically, you know, it's nice and secure. This, I mean, there's a possibility of you hitting off a rock or snapping it or whatnot. The Yose kit, once it's in, it's the same size as the actual crank assembly in there, so it's got very little chance of it being damaged like that. So that's it. The Yose kit does come with a thumb throttle that you can activate via thumb, but that's kind of a grey, well, I know it's actually pretty much illegal in the UK to have a thumb throttle on your e-bike that wasn't designed as an e-bike to start with a thumb throttle. So along with the thumb throttle, it comes with a set of brake levers that have got a brake switch in them. So when you activate the brakes, it disconnects the thumb throttle, so you can't do brake and thumb at the same time. That's not on the Swytch kit, because obviously the Swytch kit complies with UK retrofitting e-bike laws where you have to be pedalling for it to activate. So ease of fitment, Swytch kit wins for ease of fitment. Batteries. So we're going to have to Google this and look the numbers up, but this is Swytch's max battery kit. Does it say what size it's on it? It is 180 watts, 36 volt. And I'll have to put on screen because I cannot remember off the top of my head what size the Yose Power Kit battery is. But obviously, even just looking at it, that is a bigger battery. Wait, perhaps there are numbers on it so that I can just read. Oh, that would have been handy. Where we go? 36 volt, 13 amp hours. Right, I'll convert that to watt hours on screen. And, well, it looks bigger. It's a bigger looking battery. So we'll go now and we'll do some real world cycling tests, and then I'll come back and I'll tell you my thoughts on these two kits. Right, so I'm going to turn off the Swytch bike kit. Turn that off. Right, so we're just on Yose Powers now, which is the rear hub motor, and we're going up this rocky, dirty, off-road, incliney bit in Power 5. Oh, getting started tricky. Right, we're off. Let's see if we can not fall off. Okay, assist 5 is still good. We're in first gear. Right, this is getting the train I was hoping for. Oh, more off-road. Oh. Oh. Okay. Success. Whew. Right, I'll now turn around and go back and do it with the Swytch kit in level 5. Oh, I can actually see my tyre treads. Ooh. I might need 2 hands to go downhill. Not sure if I've got enough grip to get it down on. Oh. No, I need to stop filming. Oh. Be right back. Okay, this time we'll put the Yose kit off, Swytch kit on, set the Swytch kit to power level 5, and let us ascend the same hill once more, follow the same path, and let's see what it feels like. Is it gonna start helping? There it goes. Okay. It's not terrible. Still doing it. Ooh, getting dragged up the hill's not as nice though. Oh, I'm a bit more effort in though. Not pedalling effort. Oh God. Oh Jesus. Whew. Made it though. Ooh, okay. Alright. That was a Swytch bike in the Yose kit. I'll give my final verdicts once I'm back in the base and done the rest of the tests. Okay, we are out doing some more real world tests between the Swytch kit and the Yose Power kit. Now, I'm going to take it up a very gradual hill and then a slightly steeper hill, and I'm going to take up a more steeper hill, obviously on each one, and then come back. I might film some B stock footage because I'm going to need both hands here, and it's in a public space, so well, I'll let you know what it's like and my thoughts when I come back from this experiment. So this is this on the, we'll call it off-road trail type surface, and the switch kit has already gone down to two cells. And one thing I'm noticing is, being front wheel drive, we're struggling a little bit for traction on this kind of wet, loose surface, but it's still doing it. But uphill assist isn't a lot at this kind of steepness. I mean, I'm in first gear and I'm still doing most of the work here. Right, let's see if it does the thing where we'll come to a stop and we'll see if this recovers now, because that's already covered one cell. That was down to 4 lights. We started that at full, we're now down at 2, and it was down at 1 when I was coming up the hill. So I'm curious to see if the Yose kit has the same. Oh, there it goes, I missed it. Hey, go back up to 3. So that's now the battery voltage leveling out. If I was to keep going uphill at the same pace, this would cut out. So I'm curious to see if the Yose kit does the same when coming up the same hill. Both batteries, same level of charginess. They've not been charged at any point during all this testing. They just remained the same. There we go, so come back up to full now that we've stopped. So coming up the hill, that was down at 1 cell. Right, let's go and test the Yose kit. Okay, Yose bike this time. Assist level feels the same, obviously. Same size motor. Well, so should be the same level of assistance. Not as much fuel slip because you're sitting in the back tyre, if you know what I mean. You're applying the weight backwards, so you've got more grip that way. And we don't seem to have any of the battery fatigue that we do of the Swytch bike kit. Let's see. Still coming up here in first gear. Me doing most of the work. But also, I always find it's easier to steer when it's driving the rear wheel. You're not getting dragged along. I can put the steering wherever I want it to go, and it goes where I want it, not being dragged over the place. Nearly back up at where we stopped last time. Hey, is it? If anything, the Yose kit was slightly more assisting on the way up the hill there. I mean, that was my second cycle in this, and I don't feel like I was pedalling quite as hard coming up the second time on the Yose kit. And no sign of the battery dipping out. I'll need to check the video and see what the battery voltage was at the start of the video. What it is now, but it's 40 volts. I just noticed that that's actually the battery voltage. So I'll check what it was at the start and I'll put it on screen, the comparison. Now, after ease of fitment, the next biggest question is going to be price. Now, what did I pay for my Swytch kit? My Swytch kit was a £200 initial deposit, and that gets you, because they only do like a Swytch kit build buy thing like 4 times a year, so you've got to put your £200 deposit in and then wait 6 months or 8 months or nearly a year till you get the rest of the kit, and then they take their 200 and then they take another like 400 or 500 off you, so you're 600, 700 quid for this kit, because I opted for a black wheel and a big battery and that display. I think, I'm sure Swytch do a display like that as well, but it's more money. Again, even more money, excuse me. The Yose bike kit, I'm sure, is like 400 quid, like all in, and that's even including the brake pedal sensors and a thumb throttle, and that probably bigger battery. Same size motor, same 250 watt. They're both 250 watt motors to comply with that bit of the law, at least. Where does it say on it? Here we go. It's an RC 250, and that one just says Swytch 250 volt 36 watt. No, 250 watt 36 volt. So they're both same size motors, and they've both got more or less the same black wheels, but didn't cost any extra for having a black wheel. It cost extra to have a black wheel with a Swytch kit. So for price, the Yose Power wins like hands down, easy peasy, because it's a hell of a, basically half the price of the Swytch kit. And in my real world tests, I preferred, and this is perhaps personal preference because I'm being off-road most of the time, I preferred a rear hub drive rather than a front hub drive. Both had basically the same level of assistance going uphill, but the Yose kit didn't suffer the same kind of battery voltage drop that the Swytch bike kit did. Its battery, it's not that its battery doesn't last long, it doesn't like prolonged uphill stretches where it's having to try and assist at full power. It drains its internal voltage down until it cuts out, and then if you stop, the voltage comes back up to it's quite happy. Yose Power didn't do that, it just kept going up the hill. It didn't cut out at any point when I was riding. I'm used to my big e-bike, basically you can run it at 100%. If you're going uphill, it would just go uphill at full power until the battery was actually flat, dead, not just the battery voltage had dropped a bit. And yeah, it's a little bit annoying with the Swytch kit. It's mostly annoying because they advertise it for all bikes, whereas what they should really do is just advertise it for city bikes and very, very small, mild hills. It should not be used on a mountain bike in any way, shape or form if you're going any sort of actual trail riding. Firstly, because all the weight's in the front makes it horrendous to handle with, so I wouldn't do any sort of off-roading with this setup because it's really, really front heavy. Would be slightly better if the battery was under there, whereas you do a kit to do it, but it still makes it front heavy. Motor at the back, better, but then again, Yose Power also do a front kit. But if you were buying a kit to go off-road biking, get a rear hub motor, because it's much easier to control the bike. I mean, to be fair, if you were willing to break the law per se, I'm not saying you would do it, but get two hubs, get two-wheel drive. Two-wheel drive is fantastic. I had a lot of fun two-wheel driving. So this is going to be my illegal e-bike test of 2 powers, all-wheel drive mode. Right, here we go. Oh, I should have, no wait, I need to change hands. Oh god, there it goes! Ah! that was it by itself. Right, I'm away this time. Oh, this is weird as balls. Oh, Jesus, two-wheel drive. Hey, two-wheel drive's alright. Hey, this works. Oh, I'm enjoying this. Oh. And yet the other thing is, obviously, the Yose Power, there's wires that need to get hidden better, because all the Swytch bike ones, they just kind of, anything that's left just gets hidden behind this front mount. You can see all the wires that aren't used are just dangling out the front of the front mount here. All the Yose Power ones just kind of had to get coiled in a little cable. That said, this is a medium frame, so there's not as much room on here, hence I had to cable tie the battery on. If you've got a frame bigger than this, it'll fit, not a problem, but I just had to make do with what I had for my test equipment. So, if you have any questions, comments, things like that, anything, leave them down below. I will try my best to answer them, and as always, thanks for watching.